that, we're shifting our attention now to more breaking updates coming in. Donald Trump has posted a video of times now of his public midnight phone call with the ambassador Sergio Call at the U.S. Embassy party. So the U.S. President Donald Trump has taken to social media and has posted the coverage of this call, and this is the post that has been posted by Donald Trump on Truth Social. Managing editor Zaka Jacob joins us on the broadcast. Times Now had reported on Trump's message for India. This was during a phone call at the U.S. Embassy party, and in the phone call, Trump had said that he loves India, and that is the message that he has posted on social media. From the News Hour special edition, where we were reporting on what happened at the U.S. Embassy. Managing editor Zaka Jacob joins us. Zaka, Times Now reported on Trump's message for India, and now Trump taking to social media with that message.
Oh, absolutely. This was from the evening of the event called Freedom at 250. I was there at that event. Marco Rubio, the visiting Secretary of State, was the guest of honor. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, was also there at that event. He was the chief guest. And at that event, the President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, had called in to the phone of Ambassador Sergio Call, the U.S. Ambassador to India. And it is that clipping which the U.S. President has now posted on his Truth Social. Just goes to show that even the world's most powerful man watches his news on Times Now. It was a very, phone call in which President Trump was very effusive in his praise for Prime Minister Modi. Whether it was his interactions with him and the fact that he also said in that phone call, whatever India needs, we are there to give it to them, and they know where to reach us. So clearly, after what has been a relationship of a bit of friction in the last year or so, ever since the new ambassador assumed office a few months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago, he has really gone out of his way, and the Trump administration has gone out of its way to try and sort of resolve some of these outstanding issues, including, the tariff negotiations. A negotiating team is in India this week. They're hoping to conclude the trade arrangement between India and the United States. We also saw some concerns arising from the Iran war, leading to some issues here in India in terms of fuel prices, in terms of foreign exchange reserves and stuff. So all of that has also been topics of discussion. But I think this clip that the President of the United States has now posted is a short clip from Times Now on the day that the American Embassy here in Delhi was celebrating the Freedom at 250 event hosted by Ambassador Sergio Call. And the President had phoned in, and, people close to him, and this, in the last year or so that he's been president, he regularly phones in to TV shows, to friends, to colleagues. So something like that happened that day, which was a Sunday evening, I remember, and we were all watching this. There were guests, about 1,500 guests who had been invited. Rahman put up a special performance on that night, and it was right after Mr. Rahman's performance that this phone call came in. The ambassador walked back up to stage. He took out his phone and he said, "Mr. President," and then Donald Trump spoke. The clip that he has now shared on Truth Social, a clip of him watching Times Now, and that clip of this phone-in when he called into the ambassador's phone and spoke very effusively, both in terms of the India-U.S. relationship and also his own personal relationship with Prime Minister Modi.
Yes, and in this phone call, Zaka, he also had a very important message. You mentioned the 250th American Independence Day anniversary celebration, but he also had a message saying India can count on him 100%. He said that if ever India needed help, they know whom to call. They can depend on me 100%. So it's an important message, and clearly his message on social media with the Times Now clip is a message that he wants the entire world to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there have been some concerns that this relationship was drifting and that Washington and Delhi were not on the same page on some critical issues like trade. I think this phone call was also meant to be a reassuring message from the president directly to both the people of India and also, I guess, in a sense, to the leadership in India that he is there to take care of this relationship, and whatever India needs, he personally and his administration are invested in this relationship between India and the United States. Like I said, there have been a couple of issues of, let's say, divergence in the last year, particularly on the trade front, on the Russian oil front, and of course the second-order effects that the Iran war is having on India, particularly on fuel prices. But all of these, I think that phone call was meant to reassure the Indian public and the Indian leadership that it is in India's interest to stay invested in the relationship with the United States. India has expressed, certainly in private, some of its concerns vis-a-vis, like I said, the U.S. waiver on buying Russian oil. It has expressed its concerns also about the war, and the longer the war drags on, it becomes difficult to sustain domestic fuel prices at a certain level. And that, of course, is always, a difficult one for any incumbent government. And, of course, the trade talks, like I said, this week, starting yesterday, under Brendan Lynch, who is America's chief negotiator, there is a trade team that is here in India. They'll be meeting with the Commerce and Industry Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal. They'll also be calling on the External Affairs Minister. And both sides are hoping that they can resolve some of these outstanding issues, particularly on the trade front, at the conclusion of the visit this week by the trade team. So an important message that from President Trump, and now a few days after that event, which happened when Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, was here in India, he has posted a clip of Times Now where he phoned in to Ambassador Gore's cell phone. And then Ambassador Gore, of course, put it on loudspeaker for the whole event and the audience of the event to hear. I was part of the audience. I was watching this live. It happened at the Bharat Mandapam on that Sunday evening when Marco Rubio was in town. It was a Freedom at 250 event that was hosted by Ambassador Gore and the U.S. Embassy to celebrate the 250th independence anniversary of the United States of America. And they've also started this series of events through the country, including painting, I think, Donald Trump and America pictures and signs on auto rickshaws here in the national capital, 250 of them, which will be going around town. So I think it is also a word into the effort that's been put in by Ambassador Gore in the last 4 or 5 months that he's been here. There's been a visible movement, both in terms of substance, as well as, of course, symbolic gestures like the phone call that we saw at that event. He has really gone out of his way to try and smoothen over some of these irritants in the relationship, particularly when it comes to the trade front, the Russian oil front. So I think credit to Ambassador Gore that in the short time that he's been here, he has really sort of gone out of his way and conveyed to the highest leadership in both countries, both here in India as well as, of course, in the United States, to the Trump administration, to the president directly, that this is a relationship that needs to be tended to, and this is a relationship for the long term, because the convergences that brought India and the U.S. together in the strategic partnership over the last 25 years, the foundations of that convergence are still very much intact and therefore needs to be pursued with, in fact, needs to be doubled down on.
Yes, and for news from India, just like the entire country, Trump watches Times Now. Zaka, thank you for joining us with those details. So Trump has taken to social media. He has posted a video of Times Now of his public midnight phone call with Ambassador Sergio Gore, where he says he loves India. Take a look. All right, let's get you breaking updates now coming in at the U.S. Embassy Independence Day event. The U.S. President Donald Trump joined via the phone and said that he loves India and loves Prime Minister Modi, marking a strong gesture of goodwill during the celebrations.
So I know you're there, and I hope you make a good speech. You have to be representative of our country, Sergio. But I just want to say hello to everybody. I love the Prime Minister. Modi is great. He's my friend. And I just want to say a very, very good evening to everybody this morning here and this evening there. And I just want to say you're great. And we've never been closer to India. And India can count on me 100% and our country. If they ever need help, they know where to call. They call right here. We're doing well. We're setting records. We have a record economy, a record stock market. And anything India wants, they get. And I'm a big, big fan of Prime Minister Modi.
Thank you, sir. Marco Rubio is here. Any advice for a great Secretary of State?
Well, Marco is the greatest. I think he's going down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of the U.S. And it's good. Well, you have some big ones there. When you have Marco, Sergio, when you have Marco, Everybody enjoy your evening, and it's an honor to talk and say hello to Prime Minister Modi, and let him know I'm a big fan.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. How about that?
So this is even as Marco Rubio is currently in the country. These are visuals from the U.S. Embassy Independence Day event where the U.S. President Donald Trump joined over the phone line, and here's what he had to say about India. He said that he loves India and loves Prime Minister Modi. So is Trump going the extra? So that was Trump's message for India, and he has tweeted this Times Now clip on his social media account. With that, we're slipping into a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.